Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Mr. Live Ocean here, and I know it's been a long time, but I had a reason to shoot a video today because I'm no longer on the fence about a particular individual and his brother. That would be Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. I wanted to like them for some reason. I didn't know enough about them. I should have known more about their past before now. I should have just did a simple periphery, little skin level research, and I would have found out where he was getting his money from, and really why he even became controversial in the first place. I that's what I get for not paying enough attention. I hadn't really watched any of the full videos or full interviews that he's done, except for I believe the what's his name, Pierce Morgan interview. And even then, I was still on the fence. Like I've always been on the fence about it. I kind of knew he did something with porn. I didn't realize the extent of it. I really thought it was just like a small part. For some reason, I really thought he had gotten most of his money from fighting or something, from being on, I believe it was the Ultimate Fighter at some point. I don't know. I really still need to dig into it some more. But from what I know now, I now can say with less of a shadow or beyond of a shadow of a doubt that he is not a good role model. And the reason why I wanted to like him is because he did say some good things on Twitter here and there. He'll have a good quote. He'll do a video or something in conjunction or a picture. And sometimes not all materialistic, although that was always a problem. But he'll have some good motivational quotes here. But sometimes he'll say something a little bit too absolute. Like there's only two types of people in this world or whatever. Whatever kind of statement he had, a lot of them didn't quite jive with me. But they were still, like I said, the motivational ones, the ones about being a better man. It'd be great if he could have started off with that, but instead, apparently, he got his beginnings, his real money from webcam work of other women that he used, like pickup artist techniques, the lover boy technique, to convince these women to fall in love with him, and then bring up the webcam and end up having several houses worth of girls that create videos for him. And like some people might try to justify it because most of these were adult women, but most. Some were minors when they got started, so that's a problem. But even the ones who were adults, they were manipulated. They were given the false pretense that they're going to be in a real relationship with Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate, and instead become part of a porn empire. So it wasn't like innocent webcam work. This was kind of stuff they did put on OnlyFans, not just TikTok, but OnlyFans. I say that because in this one other video, the reason why I'm making this video is because of someone who goes by the name or the moniker Milk Bar TV. He made a video, a 6-7 minute video exposing Andrew's lies. The lies that he had said during the Tucker Carlson interview. Lies you could easily prove or disprove by looking at the documents of the court case. Andrew Tate's doing his best to mislead other people into thinking that he's a good guy. He never did anything wrong. But the paperwork speaks for itself. Of course, you have to translate it to English. And apparently there was this deal where it was being translated from English to Romanian back to English. So that doesn't help the formatting, but that doesn't take away from the facts of the investigation and how that's the thing about Andrew Tate. Almost every time I listened to him speak, he sounded disingenuous. Like I don't know if it's just because he's like trying to force an accent or he's lying the whole time. Because what I found interesting that when I was watching the 6-minute video, and then the longer hour and 18-minute video that Milk Bar TV did with Murdered by Crying. He did with Murdered by Crayons. Is that right? Crayons? Anyway, the longer video went into detail. The point is, when he would talk about the webcam business, especially, to other people who were probably more like-minded, he thought he was in a safe place, and he would just blurt out the fact that he was okay with pimping, and he treated women like shit. He said all these bad things, and how he actually ran his business. He actually sounded like he was telling the truth. He sounded genuine then, but he doesn't sound genuine any other time. Like during the interviews that I've watched mostly clips of, except for the Piers Morgan one. I wish I could describe it better than it's like he's trying to talk out the side of his mouth. It just something just never seemed right. Like I said, when he's talking about how he makes money, and that's like I didn't realize he made most of his money, if not all of his money, because apparently he was good at spending it too. So it probably took him a while before he actually kept some of it. But he's just a porn manager. He's a pimp as well. He's more so a pimp because apparently there were some guys that thought they were going to meet these girls. And Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, did everything they could to get as much money out of these guys. But the guys never meet the girls. It's almost like these catfishing deals that I see all the time. See them all the time on Twitter. Back to Andrew Tate. He is a liar. If you watch one of his videos and then look at the evidence, you'll see there's plenty of inaccuracies. And that's what the longer Milk Bar TV video does. The shorter one just basically throws it out there that Andrew Tate's lying in this video, in his interview with Tucker Carlson. And that alone, and that, of course, what was in the video, made it go pretty viral. I don't know about the longer video, if enough people have seen that, but I happened to come across that first, and then went back and saw the 6 or 7 minute video. I'm like, man, I don't have to be on the fence anymore. I would wish that he hadn't done the porn, because that's the biggest problem. We need to get away from this idea that porn industry is harmless, that OnlyFans is a lucrative career for women. It's no. And I had hope for Andrew Tate, because apparently recently he made a comment in either that interview or another one where he talked bad or talked negatively against porn. But he fucking made his millions. He claims billions, whatever, but just millions off of porn. He didn't make it in an honest way. Might not have been illegal technically, but where he fucked up is by trafficking women, and then, of course, doing the whole PhD test, pimpin' hoe degree. I don't know. It's just all nonsense. It works because women are easily to manipulate. They are looking for a male figure in their life, usually something like a bad boy or whatever. And they think that this is their ticket to everything they ever wanted, but it's not. They're being used and abused, and some have, of course, the like Stockholm syndrome, where they're still in love with him, even though he treats them like shit, treats them like cattle. And it makes me wonder how he's making money now. He's doing this Hustler University thing, which seems cool and all, but what's the catch? Like, before, he was fucking the women. He ain't fucking these guys. He's getting them to, I guess, pay to learn, and they're getting jobs. But it makes me wonder if Andrew Tate is taking money from the jobs, and like maybe he's the one getting paid first, and then he's giving the money to the people, and they're thinking they're getting a good rate when he's taking more than 50%, like he was doing with the women. He would say he's giving them 50%, but because of taxes, he has to hold back more. And really, he was just trying to give them as little as possible. So, I mean, it wasn't fair to the women. We should blame the women for getting into the situation. Sort of, yeah. I mean, but women could sometimes. I mean, there are some smart women and there's some dumb women, and there's enough dumb women that were hot that he was able to trick into joining his team. Um, can't fault them for not being smart enough to see what was going on, but yeah, at least they were mostly women. But then, I mean, like adult women. But then, of course, there was still the woman who ended up being his bottom bitch. But he was like in the video talking about how she was 21 during some of these events, but he had met her 6 years prior and started a relationship then. So obviously, she was 15 when they got things started. So, I mean, he may be a well mannered guy in some sense, where he can act the part of being respectable for the camera when it matters, but behind the scenes, he's a fucking douche. No matter how big your muscles are, if you treat women like shit, you're a douche. We need more families out there. We don't need all these women thinking that feminism is somehow the way to go. And he's basically using feminism against these women, I'm sure, in order to make them think they're succeeding. But in the end, it's, I guess you call it toxic masculinity in this sense. But, but feminism in this sense is toxic femininity. So anyway, it's good to finally know where he got his money from and how it's going to hurt him in the end. He needs to stop lying. It has nothing to do with the webcam business prior to 2021. It has everything to do with everything that was going on before 2021 and after 2020. It has less to do with what was done on TikTok, but more to do with what was on OnlyFans. So he was able to say certain things where it's almost like he's saying the truth, but he's not, because he's mischaracterizing what he's arguing against, and he's mischaracterizing what he actually did, and yeah, now I know why he sounds like he's lying all the time, because he is. But there are other people out there who are in good shape, and hopefully I get there someday. Till then, Andrew and Tristan Tate aren't to be taken seriously. I might still, of course, follow them on Twitter just to see what they say, but it's not because I support them. Not at all. Well, I hope my rambling was entertaining to somebody. Till next time.